Well, it was a pretty special day and a pretty impressive performance for one Welshman in particular. So let's have a chat to him now. Thomas Young is on the line. How are you, mate?
Hiya, how's it going, all right?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
All right, Bart.
All right.
Thomas, I'm going to call you Youngsy, mate, because we've been mates for years.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
How special was it then, making your Six Nations debut? Were the family out there in Rome in force?
Yeah, they all come over. The old man was happy, wasn't he? But, yeah, it was special. I love being out there, and hopefully I can get out there again at some point. But, yeah, it was a good weekend.
Mate, I'm sure it was. And in the build-up to that game, we saw some clips of you running out with your old man at the stadium and stuff before. Like, do you remember them times before? Like, did it feel a little bit surreal? Is it just that time's moved on so much that you just enjoyed the moment?
Well, that's probably the only thing I remember from him playing is that moment. And it's the only time I've actually been on Millennium Stadium, or the Principality, or whatever it is now. Yeah, that's probably something that sticks in my memory. But yeah, things have moved on now, and I'm a bit bigger, but not much bigger than I was then.
He's a bit bigger though, isn't he, the old boy? And you run out on the training paddock with him every day, don't you?
Yeah, he's put on the odd kilo or two, yeah.
How is he? I texted him in the week actually to say, well done. He's obviously a proud dad, and I told him to get his private jet out that Derek Richardson's bought him as head coach of Wasps. Mate, it must have been great though. Obviously, there's a lot of us been championing you to be playing and playing regularly for Wales because of your form in the Gallagher Premiership for Wasps. But it must have been amazing, you know, having all the family there, April as well, your mum and your brothers and all that.
Yeah. It's been something I've been working up to for, well, since you're playing, everyone wants to play for their country, and you know, the bit for me that got me was running out and you're in the crowd, you know, it's away from home. That's the bit that got me, is when you come out for just before the anthems. That's the bit of something I won't forget, probably more than singing the anthem, is the bit when you come out and you know the crowd, you can hear all the crowd. That's when I had a bit of shivers.
A mental buzz, isn't it? And looking at the game, actually, some of the stats, you made 15 tackles, you got a few turnovers as well, a couple of turnovers. Are you happy with the overall performance? I know you're pretty critical of yourself, more so than some other players are. Things to work on, or are you delighted and gutted about the try?
It would have been nice if that try was given, because I thought at the time I thought they were checking the grounding. They were all asking me. I was like, no, I definitely grounded that ball. And then obviously you look up at the screen, they were checking the pass before, and as soon as I see down the screen, I was like, oh, it's no try. But yeah, the game for me, I was happy to be out there, and I think I done all right, and I just really enjoyed it. It went quite good. The first 10 minutes, I was blowing pretty hard, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Well, mate, I bet you did. It's a tough place to go and play, and like Goody said, there's a few changes. What did Gatland say to the boys after the game? Because he told the media it could be embarrassing if they play like that against England in the next game. But, mate, as I know, you know, it's a tough place to go in Italy. There's a few changes. But how did Gat say that to the boys as well, or was he just playing that up to the media?
Yeah, as a squad, we know we didn't perform well at all. We were quite scrappy and give a ball away too easily. And yeah, obviously the way England are playing at the minute, I think everyone knows, well, we're going to have to step it up. But as a squad, I think we're quite confident going in. But yeah, especially with the run that we're on, and I suppose at home. But I think England, well, the run they're on at the minute, the two games they've played so far they've been pretty impressive. But I think because it's at home for us, we'll have to back ourselves.
And then just looking at this week, we've got hundreds of thousands of listeners to the podcast every week. You're obviously contracted to Wasps now.
Yeah.
Premiership rules state that you get released back to the club. I know you're at Wasps. You've been training with the guys today. How do you manage that situation? Obviously, the Welsh boys are training together this week, even though it's a fallow week, that are playing in Wales, and the rest of you have been released to clubs around the world who are playing wherever they're playing. Massive game for Wasps on Friday, I believe, against Bristol.
Yeah, Friday night.
Are you chucking your hat in the ring to the old boy, or what's happening?
I don't think I got an option. I think he said well done after the game and said see you 8:15 Monday morning. So I was straight back in. Yeah. No, I just want to play. I'm happy playing. I'm happy going back and playing. And in fairness, they looked after me a bit yesterday. Obviously, the boys didn't have a game over the weekend, so they looked after me a bit yesterday, and then trained fully today and are ready to go Friday.
So you had a goody Monday, did you?
Yeah, I think that's still going round. Yeah.
Is it still going round at the club? Happy days.
Yeah.
That's a non-training day Monday for all our listeners. Just a goody Monday, Jim.
Yeah, avoid the gym and do very little on the rugby pitch, on it.
Mate, career extension. That's all that's about.
Speaking about your dad as well, we've spoken about him before on the pod, and he's openly admitted it was quite hard initially for him with you in the squad, picking you even when you're on form. Obviously, the players knocking on the door. Goody mentioned that last year, actually. But what's it like from your side? Have you forgiven him for that, or do you understand that it's tough? I mean, it must be such a weird kind of environment to be in. You know, you got your dad there, you're playing well, but you know that he's thinking that he can't maybe pick you. How have you found that relationship with him?
I think he's found it harder than I did, and he probably still finds it harder than I do now. But it's like I've grown to get used to. Obviously, as a kid growing up, he'd never know who he was. He'd come and watch sessions. I suppose you get put that tag of being his son, but he definitely found it a lot harder. I just thought that, well, he gave me the opportunity, and I found that, from my point of view, I had to go in and earn the respect of everyone there. And although he's come out and said perhaps he didn't play me as soon as he did, but it seems to have worked out all right now when it's going well from my point of view. I still think it can get better and keep improving, but yeah, like he came out in the press, I think, the other day and said that if I'm playing well, I go over to see my mother if I'm not, they don't hear from me. So
you're always over there then, pal, because you're playing well. You still taking your washing back for your mum, April, to do? Or?
Yeah, funny enough, obviously been away for the week last week. I come home, we got home Sunday night and come straight from training yesterday, so big bags of washing for it.
Thomas, where is home? I always ask this to all the Wasps lads, where is home? So is it Coventry? I can't see Big Di living in Cov.
No, Big Di doesn't live in Cov. No, he's quite towards Leicester way. What's it called?
Hinckley Butt.
Yeah, Hinckley way.
Oh, is he Hinckley? And where are you in Cov? Are you seeing the sights there?
I'm in Cov where I've kept it real and stayed close to training ground.
How good's Cov, isn't it?
They've got a cathedral, but they've got one to spare, so they've actually got two cathedrals. There's a song in that.
I haven't gone in there much, mind, so I can't say I don't know much about it.
Mate, it's history. I wanted to ask one more thing about your dad as well, because the Coventry Evening Telegraph is something that I subscribe to online. I actually think it's free. But he spoke in the paper last week about what's going on at Wasps. Obviously, there's been not a huge exodus, but some high-profile players leaving. I've jested about it on the podcast as well, but interesting reading about your dad's article, how hard he's found it and the pressures that he's put upon his shoulders. As his son, to take the rugby side out of it, how tough has it been for him in recent weeks? Because Wasps obviously were in a hole. Your dad's brought them out of that hole. You guys have been so good. You're in a final. Copious amounts of players now playing international rugby, and it does seem a tough time from the outside. How is he?
He obviously has his up days and he has his down days. I suppose, because obviously I know him as a father, my father and Goldie, I know when he's down and things have gone wrong, especially when mother tells me stay away, he's in the mood or whatever. But yeah, obviously what's gone on in the club and a big name players leaving. Yeah, he's had down days, but especially with some of the results haven't gone our way as well, he hasn't now. But yeah, he is quite upbeat most of the time, even though he comes across that he's not. But yeah, as his son, you got, especially outside of work, to try and stay away from it, because otherwise he's never gonna switch off from it. But my brother's given him enough from it to him, so I think he gets it from all angles from them.
Well, mate, tell him the kebabish shop on Spon Street, mate. It's a good place to unwind. Kebabish, it's called.
Mate, you're on, Jim. He's obviously, he's poured his heart and soul into the club, hasn't he, over the last 8 years? I think he's been. Is it 8 years he's been there now? I think. So it's a very honest interview, and I know Di East from my time there and previously to that, and post playing there. He's a very honest bloke, and the interview he did last week was quite candid. But the other thing he talks about, and we mentioned talking about some of the high profile players leaving. How would the contracts go down with you and your old man when you're talking about an extension? And obviously, it's going to be really difficult for you at the minute as well because of this law. And Di said it last week in the press about, once you come to the end of this contract, if you want to be playing in Wales, the way it stands right now, you have to move back to Wales. Interesting times for you, mate.
Just telling me $500,000, that's what I'd do.
Yeah. Well, the first contract was pretty easy. It was literally, he said, you've got an opportunity here to sign it or find a job. So that was easy enough.
Was rent at home with mum and dad included in that one or what?
Yeah, the first year was, I think, yeah. I said you got your food on your table, so that's you can sign it or not.
Nice.
And you're Washington. But yeah, I think what was it? Yeah, so this contract now will be interesting. So he's actually sat me down and said, obviously we can't deal with it because of our relationship. So we'll have to get some agents involved or whatever it is to sort that out. But I might just send my mother in and see what she comes back with.
Yeah. I'll do it as well. You've seen me in the corporate lounges. I got Wan de Jong a contract extension the other day. I see he's signed as well and got an extension. So I can make things happen with Derek. You know.
I'll send you in and see what comes out with that.
Mate, lastly, just on the game, a couple of weeks against England, it's quite a throwaway question, but what do Wales need to do? We know you'll rock up emotionally, but what do you need to do in order to put yourselves in a good chance to beat England? Because they look incredible at the minute.
I think it's probably match them physically. Obviously, both games they've played, they've just dominated physically, and their line's been defence has been good. And against France, they just physically they battered them, and then they kicked the ball behind them. So I think, obviously, from a Welsh point of view, it's match them physically and they should try and win the kicking battle.
Good stuff.
Well, best of luck, Tom, for the remainder of the Six Nations and, of course, the Wasps game this weekend.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Thomas. Good man.
Thank you. Bye.
Good man.
Bye.
Just called him Tom.
Yeah.
His name is Thomas.
You're not allowed to say Tom in Wales. It's offensive.
You're
Is it
such a
actually?
Kiwi.
Yeah.
Proper good lad.
Good
mate
lad.
of mine.
Good lad.
Good mate of mine. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah.
I used to go knocking on Di's door and say, Di, pick him. Got to pick him. He was training the house down, and Di was like, goody boy, get yourself back down to McDonald's and bring me a Big Mac on the way home, but listen, he's been amazing for us, hasn't he?
Oh, mate, he's, for me, always rated him. One of them naturally gifted players, so quick.
Imagine Thomas going in with his dad to talk about a contract, and he's openly said there that Di said to him, we can't do this. We're going to have to get agents involved, and what is fair value. The flip side of it,
Surely his dad will be like, I reckon,
£1 million player.
Yeah, that's what I'd do if I'm coach and my lad comes in.
But Di's the complete opposite of that. Like Di will go to the extremities to say he's clearly not favouring his son. You can see he's had it tough. He's worked hard. He deserves everything he gets, whether it's a Welsh selection, whatever contract comes his way. He is worth that. He's Wasps' most valuable player, I reckon.